Wait, Nebula, you're a professional mapper, right? Nebula, would you be willing to roast my map in voice call? It's very important. Has to be a voice call. Oh my god. Guys, it's time. Okay, Nebula, let me outline everything for you real quick, okay? So, this is for a sponsored video for Zenless Zone Zero, okay? It was due yesterday. I'll sort that out with them later. It basically is structured the same way as my my mapping video for Goddess of Victory Nikkei, where I basically made a map and then asked other professional mappers to judge it. Except this time, there's no other people making maps because I know that I'm going to get absolutely owned. Do you want actual feedback or just roast? Literally anything. The first thoughts that come into your mind. Literally, yes, literally anything, okay? It is not this map. It is... fucking... It is Battle Theme 4. Okay, guys. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on?
I am
woke
dying.
up maybe 10 minutes ago.
Wait, you what?
I woke up like 10 minutes ago.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Alright, let me download this map.
Let's go. So, for context, I gave myself... Originally, it was going to be 1 hour, but then I gave myself 3 hours to map this.
I don't know why people give time limits for maps. As long as it takes to just finish it, you know, get the same result.
Fuck.
If anything, if you have a time constraint, then that'll make the map worse. That's just me.
So, the thing is, my biggest problem is that I take too long in the map. Like, literally hours for one object. Not
yeah,
even...
that is a problem with just like mapping or just like newer mappers in general.
Yeah.
Like my mapping philosophy is a bit different than others. I kind of just started out. I just, you know, if the song was good, I had motivation to map it. And then I just placed the objects and then I moved on and I just cared about it later. So the end product when I was early mapping would be terrible. And then, you know, I just map it and then I'd go back and fix it with all the nitpicks, right?
That's true.
And eventually over time, I would just map and not care about anything. And then that's what becomes the good quality map. It's a terrible philosophy. I do not recommend it, but it works.
I see. This is... I'm basically in my phase of just mapping garbage so that later on, my maps will... The objects that naturally place out are the vision, if you will.
Okay.
But anyways.
Let's just get a... Like, how long is this? 3 minutes? Okay, I'll just skim through it a bit. I cannot hear this song.
I only mapped like half of it, so... I didn't even finish it in the 3 hours.
I just gotta see what I'm working with here.
Yeah.
Is this timed right?
I hope so.
It seems a bit early. That's fine. I mean, you have like basic structure. I can see that kind of bleeding through a little bit, which is good.
Okay.
A for effort. Okay. I'll go back to the rest of the map. I want your like reasoning behind the, you know, the song doesn't change much, but you change the 3/4 sliders. What's your reasoning behind this?
My reasoning was, fuck me, this song is so repetitive, there has to be a way for me to make this not the same monotonous shit all over again.
Well, if the song is the same, the map should be the same too.
Ah!
Don't you think? Like... No, like... I mean, okay...
You think
I don't want to delve into, like, you know, like... me, like, you know, talking bad about, you know, the current mapping meta or whatever, but that's just how I think. If the song stays the same, the map should stay the same. So a lot of the stuff I map, power metal or whatever, can be very repetitive. A lot of people don't like it because the song repeats over and over, and so the map repeats over and over. I don't see a flaw in that, but just
I
like
see.
doing like random changes just for the sake of it, just overall ruins the experience of the player. Because they're so used to the certain rhythm of the song, they're so used to playing certain things for certain parts of the song, and then you just jump here and just like break their ankles. Like, this isn't hard, but still, it's something different.
That's
And it just
fascinating.
confuses the player more than anything. You say you only mapped half of it?
Yeah.
Okay, you kind of stayed consistent with it a little bit. Oh, wait, okay. I just realized that's the name of the game. I'm like, wow, ZZZ, that describes this map perfectly.
That's the idea.
Okay. There's a lot of nitpicks I can point out, but I'm gonna try to do like overarching stuff.
That's okay. Nitpicks are also welcome.
Okay, well then, strap in for a while. I won't try to keep you long. I know you probably have other plans for the stream. And whatnot.
Nah, I don't have other plans for the stream. You have as long as you'd like.
Okay. Need some water. Hydrate, chat.
So true.
Hold on. Okay, so you do follow the rhythm. Good. I'm just curious. Okay, so you're almost using all of the play field.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. Ooh, I kind of like that.
This is the part where I started running out of time, so I was like, fuck it, copy and paste.
Oh, yeah. Happens.
And that's when the timer hit 0.
Okay. Huh.
Going, man.
All right.
No filter.
That's the Undead Corpse song. Anyways, okay, so I can obviously see when it comes to patterning and stuff, like you have some of a grasp of like how to do that. Like you're trying to do, like, for example, just scrolling to a random part, you start doing stuff like this. It's not perfect, but like it's there. Like if you just like move the objects a little bit, then you have some sort of a hex grid or whatever. And like, that's good. When it comes to like patterning and like good visuals, or like visual patterning, you're better than most new mappers. So I'll give you that. But there are some parts that I would like to like point out, like when it comes to just like visual nitpicking, and this can be applied everywhere in a lot of different aspects. Like let's look at this 5 and 6, for example. Like I get the idea you're going for here, but you could make it look better if you blanketed the 5 with the hit circle of the 6 and something like that. And these sliders won't be the same, but it'll just be like infinitely better overall. It would just look better, look more cohesive, and especially, and if you're mapping with this, the slider tails, then you could align them to be more symmetrical or something like that. I don't have that right now, but there's a lot of cool things you could do just to clean up the visuals and whatnot. Like let's look at the start for some more examples. Okay, yeah, big thing is like these little pixel overlaps, like between the 1 and the 2 and whatnot. Like these, in general, they don't look good, especially when it comes to just 180 BPM, 1/2 time distance between 1 and 2. So you could easily just do like this for both of them, and it wouldn't change how it plays, but it would look better. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
I have no idea how to do
not to.
overlaps properly. Is there any sort of like general rule of thumb when it comes to like overlapping patterns and how to do it in a not disgusting way?
I'm going. Okay, so this is something that I told one of my friends who is now a BN on
Oh.
how to do overlaps, and so um I like he was learning standard, and now he's a B. He went from like his first standard map to BN in like 2 months. It's kind of crazy.
What the?
And what is it? Okay, so basically, like, so if you have two objects here, and this is a general rule of thumb, this does not apply to anything. There are a lot of edge cases. So like, this is good. This is completely terrible. This is completely terrible. This is pretty bad. This is like, pretty bad as well, but it's kind of okay. This is better. This is good. And then, a perfect overlap like that, that's good. So having, slight offsets like this, I use them a lot in my maps. And, that's a general preference type thing. So like if I have like a slider here or something, having a slight offset gives it a little character. So having something like that's good. But like having like this, it doesn't look that good. It can look good with other contexts. And then like, this stuff just looks bad. And I don't know. Overlap theory is hard. You kind of just learn it over time. Looking at other maps, seeing what they do, and getting better visuals and whatnot. This stuff's hard. It's complicated.
All good.
Yeah. But overlaps, yeah, and like in general, like this area of the screen is already pretty busy, so you could have moved this one to somewhere that's not as busy. So like you could put it like here. And so just give it some breathing room, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on, let me just... Okay, kind of like this. Like the... Okay, yeah, with the spacings here between these sliders, that was good compared to the last section, which is nice. This can be a little hard to read. I don't know, especially given like the lowish AR. What AR is this? Like,
I think it's just AR9.
9? Yeah. Like, I mean, this like offset triple here, kind of a cool idea, but I think it would be better if you just detach it from the 2, because people might read the 2 as well, and they might think it's like some sort of quad or some stupid pattern. Like, you could probably rotate it or something, and that would give a nice flow into the 7 or something. I don't know. Do something cool.
And that's okay.
Some breathing room. Yeah, again, overlap stuff like this just doesn't look the most desirable. I can already tell, like, between you change styles a lot from like the last 10 seconds to here.
Yeah, I was under the impression that, like, okay, since this map is pretty repetitive, I should try to represent that same rhythm in as many different ways as I can. So like sometimes I'll be listening to the what are they called? The half beats, the da 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 da.
Oh yeah.
On those kick sliders. Other times I would be listening more for that piano that's like da 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 or whatever. Other times I would be listening for the bass. I think there's like a bass line or something.
Yeah, I hear it. I mean,
yeah.
Honestly, that's not a terrible idea, but as I said earlier, it's like, obviously this is where it comes like fundamental differences in how you think about mapping. I think that if the same song or the same sound appears, you should map it the same way. But, obviously different mappers can get away with doing kind of what you're doing, and it's a completely viable solution. So you'll get different responses from different mappers. So that's just what I think.
All good.
So, yeah, and as I said, you could have executed this a lot better, but like I like the idea.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, here. I'll try to elaborate on this more. Like, so especially like this section I mentioned earlier. Um, so like, what is it? You could probably use the bookmarks to divide up the map. So like, if this section repeats over and over, and then there's like then there's this little break, and then it repeats again. You could put a bookmark there. And so it's the same section, repeats, yada yada, and then there's a little break, bookmark it. It's the same section. You got to break, bookmark it, etc. And for each of those sections, and then you could focus on one aspect of the song for that section and keep it consistent within those bookmarks. And then the transition happens, and then the next section, focus on something else. That would make it more cohesive instead of just in the middle of the section, just change it up halfway. That way, it kind of the player will understand, okay, so there's the transitional section happening, there's going to be something different going on, I'm going to prepare for that, instead of something random happening in the map looking like hasn't really got any thought behind it.
That's a that's a good point. Using bookmarks
But that
to
would
help
also
divide
require
things.
for you to basically remap the whole thing, and I know you don't want to do that.
It's okay. So
Yeah.
what I'm basically doing is that we picked 3 songs in advance, and the idea is that I speed map the first 2 songs, getting feedback after each one, and then for the third map, which everyone voted on, which was the most popular one, is the one that I'll actually like take my time, use the feedback that I learned from the first 2 speed mapping, and then
Got it.
employ it to hopefully. The goal is to get something that most mappers would say, "Hey, this could be rankable."
Okay, I mean, honestly,
That's the goal.
You still have to get like combo colors and hit sounds and a full spread and like all
Fuck!
those things. But if you're looking at it from a solely map standpoint, then yeah, maybe we could get to that point.
We'll see.
Honestly, you've been mapping for a while, and like you
Here and
have a lot
there.
of these things locked away. Like, I still think Nickery's Snowmelt was pretty cool.
Oh.
In your part, at least. Oh, that's a throwback. Okay. Okay, so I talked about that stuff. I love the patterning stuff. Like, you got like the pizza shape here and the 120 degree turns and whatnot.
I always find myself like locking into specific patterns, and I feel like that like restricts like my play field, if that makes any sense.
I mean, you can still like express the same patterns, but like have like flexibility with that stuff. I don't really know much about this because I tend to not have big visual patterns much. I kind of just map with the flow and whatnot. But what I could say to like make it cleaner, like if you're looking at the follow points from here, like the 4 to the 5 and the 5 to the 6, like you have the 2 V lines here, and then you could just like move the 2 so it's like more like centralized between there, and it would just make it look cleaner overall. Mm-hmm. Same with like this stuff, and just make it look more equidistant with everything. And like, what is it? A follow point, what is it? Follow point visuals is like a whole nother aspect of mapping. And it falls under the category of visuals, which is a whole big thing.
I never even thought about using follow points. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Usually when it comes, so I freehanded basically everything in this map with the hopes that it would save time. But what I would usually do is I would use the what's called the polygon creator.
Oh yeah, the polygon tool. Okay, that's good. That's good. If you're wanting to get like big patterns like this that look nice and like have a whole bunch of structure to them, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to use polygon tool. So thumbs up to that. Gold star.
Yeah.
Did you use it for this pattern here?
No, I freehanded it.
Okay, yeah, I can tell. But let's find another pattern that you may have used it on. This? No, you didn't use it on
No,
this.
that was freehanded. I think there was only one pattern, which was like a pentagon towards the end. Oh.
Found a square. A triangle, square. Wait, did I miss it?
I think it was earlier. After this, hold on, let it play out for a little bit. That one.
Oh, okay. I thought it'd be more grandiose, but yeah. I mean, yeah. That's. I think for this section, it fits pretty well. Again, there's a lot more focusing going on in the music, but you probably focused on a different aspect. It's good. All right, what else? Okay. Here's. So you do try to use a lot of like the you try to pattern things a lot. Use like, polygon tool or whatever to like make cool patterns and whatnot. And then like you have these cool sections and they look cool with the patterns, and then you get thrown into this like non-structured, non-patterned, for the lack of a better word, garbage. And you have these sliders that are off axis with one another, and it looks really rushed.
Yep.
I mean, obviously you were on a time constraint, but like looking like if like a mapper was playing this, or like someone was playing this, they'll say, wow, this looks really nice, it has a lot of structure to it, and then you just completely derail them. And so I mean, you could just try. I'm trying not to be mean here. Oh my god.
No, pop off, bro. It's all good.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. But if you're gonna stick with a style of mapping, or if you're gonna choose like a style of mapping, like making structured things, or making it look clean, or making it play well, or whatever, then you should probably stick to that. And then, as I said with the bookmark thing earlier, you could switch it up for each of the bookmarks for a cool little concept. But like this is like what this is what turns off most mappers, is because like you have a cool idea, and then people just it flops.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could probably make this better a little bit by okay, so you kind of had a triangle thing here, but it's not really that visible because of the verticality and like geometry theory or whatever. I don't know. That's not a real term. So you could do what you did at the intro and did like, kind of a triangle with the thing in the center, and then fixed up these two sliders to coincide with one another like this. And boom, you kind of keep the theme, or ish. It's like this is like on the same axis as the triangle. You could fix that up to be more in line and just kind of have more cohesiveness. And if you by the time you get to the point where you have a rankable map and you're looking for BNs, or you're looking at people to like mod your map or whatever, they'll see stuff like this and they're like, wow, there's actual thought put behind this map, and like mapper cares about it. And then that will that'll make them, or the modders, like, or potentially the BNs, like, wow, I want to nominate this, or something like that. It'll make them feel a little bit better that actual thought is put behind the map.
Are you telling me that there are mappers who don't put thought behind their maps?
Yeah. And then there's a case to be made about a lot of stuff like that.
Ah.
And it's very subjective because mapping like, was it like higher level mapping drama and mapping discussions can get very heated. Like, people say that I don't put thought behind my maps because they all look the same and all that stuff, which is kind of partially true, but we don't talk about that. And there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be talked about. So, I mean, different styles, different people, different types of maps. But I think when it comes to like the mapping community as a collective, stuff like this would kind of just be like, would be perceived as putting objects in a random place that kind of flow well together, and just to continue to the next section, like especially with patterns like these.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now to focus on this, I did want to mention, if like for the kick slider section, I like your use of the kick sliders throughout the map. I think they're great, but like especially with these curved kick sliders, since these are only 1/4 a slide. Oh my god! It just thundered. Sorry, that scared me. The curved sliders, since they're so short, a tiny curve like this can get accentuated a lot, and so this kind of gives the connotation that it's going to go into like a sort of a curvy pattern, and what you do here is sort of a linear thing. So if you want to keep the linear thing, then you can just remove these, and it would play the exact same, but it just looks better because it's more cohesive and something like that. That you're just moving forward instead of curving down and then curving back and then curving down or whatever. That's just how I think about it. But
Yeah,
like
that's
if you
fair.
wanted to keep these, then you could do something like rotate it like this, do that, copy paste it over, and that would give like a curvy feel. If you wanted to be fancy, you could like rotate it a little bit and do that, and like, whoa. I mean, this is terrible, but still, the idea's there.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And so I feel like when it comes to like sliders like that, they should kind of just point you in the direction that you're supposed to go. Obviously, I'm a little biased because I focus on making clean and easy maps. So, like, the sliders should tell where the next pattern should go and all that kind of stuff, but it's up to you. But I would say that you could structure this pattern better because, like, for example, distance between here and here is not consistent with the distance between here and here. Like, you could do something like that or whatever. And yeah, I again, just more nitpicky stuff. I'm not the best at giving feedback, but
No, this is great, man.
okay, yeah, patterns like this, I think that's good. This is good. A plus. Like, it's good. I like it. And then you have this overlap here with the 6, and a bad overlap with the 7, and you just fell on the floor. You just move the 6 and give it breathing room, and then the snare on the 8. Okay, this pattern, this is a really good pattern. If you move the 6, this is a good pattern. And then you have this. It's just like good ideas, and then it falls on its face. So like, have you like play tested this yet? Like just went and played it on your own?
Yes. When I was mapping it, I was like, this is hot garbage, and then I played it, and I'm like, wait, it's not terrible.
Yeah. I mean, this doesn't look bad to play, but like, what is it? From like a playing standpoint, would you think that this is like, if someone like random in your chat sent this and you were to play this, would you think like this is like a bad map or like, or like places that can be improved?
I could definitely
played
tell.
a lot of map.
Yeah, I can definitely tell that this is from like a new mapper.
Yeah. So this is a lot easier said than done, but maybe you could play it and then when you're playing it, oh, this section feels weird. Go back into the map and then change that section until it feels good again. And then, repeat that process over and over. I can't do that because I'm not good of a mapper or good of a player, but like I've seen like other top players try to map and make their own maps, and they're like, oh, why is it bad? I was like, you could play it yourself and then see where the parts are bad and then change accordingly. But I don't know if that. I mean, that's just a theory, and I don't know if it actually works. I'd love to see if it does, but I don't know. It's something you could do, but then again, it does also require a lot of mapping knowledge.
Yeah, that is fair. I think one of the pitfalls that I fall into is that I tend to err on the side of making things too difficult, I guess, because like easier patterns don't have enough emphasis for me anymore.
Interesting.
So like, I don't know. Like when it comes to weirdness of a pattern, for sure, I can definitely identify that. But when it comes to like representing like the song properly, I have to like stick to like concepts of my head of like, okay, this pattern is intentionally made shorter, or like the distance is like smaller between these two circles. to make quote unquote more emphasis on like the next set of circles that are more distant apart. Even though for me as a player, there's literally no emphasis for that increase in distance because it's still relatively like in the same ballpark. If that makes any sense. It's like tough.
I can kind of understand what you're going for here.
But anyways,
Yeah.
I digress. It's something that comes with time, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah, I can understand why that is a little bit of a pitfall.
Like, I need to train the mapping brain because the player brain is definitely like one side of the story, but it's not the full side.
Yeah. Okay. My cat. I'm trying to like keep calm, but she's just walking on my desk, tromping, meowing around, and like shoving her face in my face. I'm trying to have this discussion. Okay. Yeah, I don't think being able to like translate like the player and the mapper, oh, this play's bad, and then fixing it. I don't think that's gonna work. So I think you might just have to do this the traditional way.
Just map more, Lamau.
It is true. Yeah, the way to get better at mapping is to just map more. And make another map, get feedback, start a new map, and whatnot.
Yes, sir.
Just don't map the same song over and over and try to, put lipstick on a pig and polish a turd,
I love the way you say that.
I mean, those are just like those are just, sayings. Like, they're probably old sayings. It's like stuff like my mom and my grandma would say.
No, I got you. That's gold. All right. So overall, if you were to give this a rating out of 10, what would you give it?
Rating out of 10.
Cutthroat. No brownie points. Some random ass dude just sent you this map. What do you say?
Okay. Okay, so 1 being like terrible map and 10 being best ever. I'd probably give it like
10 being like impulse, 1 being mistimed, unplayable, cock sliders everywhere or some shit.
Got it. I'd honestly like a 3.5 or a 4. Because the ideas are there, but they're just like, it's like a word, okay, to not quote Avatar, but like a word about to be spoken. Like, they're there, they're almost there. They just have to get a little bit more into something that would be into the good category. So I think you're right there on that boundary. That's what I'd say. So yeah, like a 3.5 or a 4 out of 10.
All right. We have a lot of room to improve.
Are you going to continue mapping?
Yes, sir. I have 2 other songs that I need to finish.
Oh, wait, this is only the... I thought this was the third.
No, this is the first of 3.
Oh, God.
Each song is different.
Ooh, wait, what's the other songs like?
The other song is ZZZ Battle Theme 13, I think. Share. So it's this and then final boss theme.
Ooh. I'll make for a cool map.
The final boss theme is actually like fucking crisp, dude. It's like kind of like artcore.
No, I think it just is artcore. I heard that first piano chord and they're like, yep.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, definitely like artcore influences and whatnot. Oh, that's actually sick. I like that. I really like that. That's really cool.
Yeah. So, the goal is to finish these next 2 maps today.
Dude, how long have you... Okay, you've been streaming for 8 hours. It is 7 a.m. for you. You need to finish 2 more maps. And you said 3 hours?
Listen, this sponsored video was supposed to be due, like a draft was due to be submitted yesterday. we're in
Is the
we're in
payout
hustle
worth
mode.
it? Is the payout worth it?
I mean, the payout is just like an enabler. Like either way, I'd love to get more into mapping. I even talked with like Log Off now about like some like actual mentorship type beat.
Yeah, but like you should get some sleep and do it tomorrow.
Oh, that's
or
fine.
Rather, later in the day for since you're going to sleep at 7.
It's fine. It's not an
I mean,
inconvenience.
I'm not in control of your life. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's all good. All right,
right.
Nebula, thank
So,
you so much for your
Good
help,
luck
man.
on your next maps. I'll be lurking. I gotta go get some breakfast.
I appreciate it, man. All right, see you, man.
See ya.